What should you do in a situation when it comes to choosing between fighting for that $1 million house and leaving the narcissist empty-handed? What should your decision-making process look like? What should you consider before making any choice? Let's find out in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Today in this episode, we're going to talk about rather a complicated issue, a complex issue that many survivors, if not all, face in narcissistic relationships, especially towards leaving them. We're going to talk about if you should let the narcissist have it all and leave empty-handed. Before I talk about this issue and help you understand, I'm wondering if you are dealing with a situation like this, where you have to choose between the devil and the sea. If yes, drop in comments below what your experiences are and how difficult it is or how easy it is for you to get what is rightfully yours. Because your experiences will help other survivors feel validated. Now let's get started with the episode by laying the foundation, the basic understanding, because we need to know that not all situations in narcissistic relationships are same. They're not equal. Some narcissistic relationships get complicated and very complex, especially when money is involved, when big assets, big joint accounts, cars, other stuff is involved, and when it comes to dividing these assets, dividing this money. Why? Because the narcissist, selfish by nature, wants to have it all, wants to give you massive ego injury by punishing you, by leaving you with nothing, by making you beg for small breadcrumbs, by leaving you broke, essentially. That is what their motive is. So what should you consider before making any move, before making any choice? You should consider a couple of things. Number one, the legal system. Unfortunately, our legal systems, in many countries, I would say, as much as I know about them, are dysfunctional, do not understand the workings of narcissistic abuse, the complexity, the dynamics, and how it impacts individuals, how it impacts victims. They just go with facts, and you know how narcissists are masters at manipulation, at fabricating these stories, bending the reality until it favors them. It favors their case. So I have seen it personally when I sit with clients, when I talk with clients who are going through these complex court cases. They feel so alone. Rather, they are re-traumatized by the court system, by the lawyers, because nobody seems to understand the reality of the situation. They just go with what they see, and narcissists are excellent at projecting a perfect image, either of a victim or of a hero. So the first factor, legal system. If your legal system truly supports you, if you have a lawyer who understands, if your arguments are considered valid, and if you don't feel alone, then probably you should go ahead and keep fighting. Because third party who holds the power here truly gets it, truly understands it. The person who is your biggest asset, your lawyer, truly knows what you are going through and the kind of support that you need. But if the legal system is dysfunctional, truly does not want to understand what is going on with you, why you are saying what you're saying, and blindly, totally supports the narcissist, then probably it is better. I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's about your freedom. You have to make the choice. You can earn that much money again. Or maybe you may have to live on lesser amount, but at least you will have mental stability. You will have peace. You can get that again, but you won't be able to get your mental peace, mental stability back on track as easily as you will be able to get materialistic stuff. The other factor is your own capability. How much more are you willing to take? Because you need to know that these court battles can go on for years. They will ask for this, and then you will ask for that, and then they will point out this problem, and then, that mediation never happens. The court case keeps you hanging in the middle of nowhere. You just do not know what direction to take. And unfortunately, that takes a toll on your health, on your mental stability. It traumatizes you again and again. It just means that you will have to go through an extreme amount of adversity, a lot of stress. You will have to face it because they don't care. As I said, this system is not trauma-informed, so they don't care what you're going through. If you're not able to present yourself, if you're not able to hold yourself together, they will easily label you as crazy, as dysfunctional. And then on the basis of that, They will create an opinion which will be nothing but a prejudice and just make it seem like you do not know what you're talking about, therefore you should not get what is rightfully yours. All of which is to say, if you have the capacity to tolerate that stress, if you're willing to go through the cycle of abuse again and again and again, and if you feel like there is hope, because if I keep fighting, I am not fighting in vain, there is something going to come out of it, definitely, then probably you should keep going, because there is positive expectancy. But if there is none, and it is just a waste of time and energy, maybe it is just better to let that go. Knowing and understanding that the narcissist will never feel satisfied, even if they have this $1 million house, that car, that money, they will still feel empty. While you, on the other hand, will be able to heal. You will be able to create your own resources, external as well as internal. You will be able to move on from this experience, but they will be stuck in this cycle of repeating the same harmful cycle of abuse with another person for eternity. There is no hope for them. They are doomed, but you are not. The third factor, I think the most important one is the financial resources that you're putting into this case. Is it worth it? Because you and I both know how much money it takes to have these lawyers and then to file this thing and to file that thing. And if it is a team, a forensic team working for you, you know it's thousands, sometimes millions of dollars in debt. Is it worth it for you? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to spend that much money on something for which there is no hope? Or is there hope? Is it worth it? You have to kind of think about your profit and loss. Is it worth it? What will be your ROI, return on investment? You have to kind of think like a businessman here. Because if you're spending that money just on the basis of your emotions, because you just want them to have it, you want to take your revenge, then probably that is not the way to go. You need to step back for your own stability, for your own peace. The narcissist wants you to keep fighting. They like it. It is their game. It's like you're wrestling with pigs. The pigs enjoy it and only you get dirty. They don't care. It is their arena. It is their battlefield and you are in it. And they want you to stay in it because they keep getting supply. Every single time you get an email from the lawyer, from the narcissist through the lawyer, and you feel that surge in the body, you feel anxious, you feel stressed, and your brain starts ruminating and thinking about 9,000 possibilities, the narcissist is energetically recharged. You need to get that and you need to understand that. So if stepping away is possible, if stepping away means giving up on a couple of $100,000s, probably it's worth it. I know, it's still a lot, but it's not bigger than your own mental peace. It's not bigger than your inner peace, your inner stability. At least you won't have to deal with the push and pull, the back and forth, the hot and cold. At least you will have some predictability in your life, even if you have lesser money than what you used to have. It's fine. It is better to have nothing financially, yet have everything emotionally. You need to make your choices. You need to see what your priorities are. You need to see what you are going after, because sometimes narcissists also like to dangle this carrot. Maybe there's something in the will. You do not want to let it go because it's rightfully something that should be inherited by your children, and you just don't want this injustice to happen. But the narcissist knows this. They're intentionally dangling that property, that thing, that amount of money, or whatever it is in front of you so that they keep you moving. They keep getting supply from you. It's not worth it because still there is unpredictability. If the power lies in the narcissist's hands, they can change their decision at any moment. So even if you were to sacrifice your entire life serving them or doing what they want you to do, just with one intention, and that is to make sure the property gets inherited by your children or it gets passed down to them, still you do not have full certainty here, because they can do anything at the end and it will be a huge loss for you and then something to be guilty for the rest of your life. I have also seen some people justifying staying with a narcissist and saying, at least I'm getting this amount of money from them on the monthly basis. If by any chance I get to a point, if somehow I get to a point where I'm not so emotionally disturbed by them, by their presence, and still get that money, I can have it all. That is not the right way to look at the situation. You have to look within and see why you are thinking that way. Because that is not morally right and practically possible. If the narcissist is present in your life, you're interacting with them, and there is this back and forth happening, it's a given you will be impacted by their presence in one or the other way. You cannot justify that. Your trauma bonding, your cognitive dissonance says, well, you will be able to handle this emotionally. You just have to focus on that amount. But I have seen people trying that, yet miserably failing, because it's not possible. You are with an energy vampire and they have fed on you for years. How do you think you will be able to stop it? Because the power dynamic is imbalanced. They know how to push your buttons they have installed in you, buttons that you're not aware of, buttons that lie in your subconscious. So letting go is always the key. Giving up on the house, on the money, on the car, on this, that, and the other, something that is precious, something that is valuable, is okay as long as it means you will get your freedom back. You will be able to be at peace. There will be no one bothering you through their manipulation and gaslighting. You will have some predictability. You will be able to live your rest of years in peace, and you will have the healing. You will experience the healing that you have been longing for a long time. That was it for today's episode. I hope you liked it, enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in comments. Drop a like, share this episode with others. I'll talk with you in the next one. Until then, let the healing begin.